Welcome to Bastard Quest. I'm your game bastard, Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
I'm Austin.
Today we are playing Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th Edition,
Says you.
a game from Cubicle 7. Yes, I do say that. We made characters last session, session 0. If that interests you, skip back one episode and listen to that. If you don't care, carry on. Austin, who are you playing in this grand adventure?
I'm playing Harlowe Finn, a witch hunter ranger.
All right, Todd,
Stevie Door.
who is a...
Sometime heavy things need put on boat. Sometimes heavy things need taken off boat. Stevie lift heavy things. 30 days on, 30 days on.
Yes.
Stevie's great-grandfather was an ogre. Corey?
Well, I'm playing a rogue witch named Brinda the Decent Witch. Brinda with an I. That's how you know it's fantasy.
Yes. Sure. The only way it could be more fantasy if there was, for some reason, an apostrophe somewhere.
Right. Well, if it was Song of Ice and Fire, it'd be a Y.
Yeah. So we're playing Warhammer Fantasy. This is, as I said, a game from Cubicle 7. Warhammer Fantasy is a very old lineage. It was... Warhammer First Edition had to come out in the early 80s, probably. I don't know the exact date.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was that old.
It's been around a while. So this is based on Games Workshop's Warhammer Fantasy setting, which used to be a big miniatures game, and they're bringing it back. It went away for a while, but I think they're bringing it back.
Kyle, what was it about 40K that so took over everyone's perception of Warhammer?
Space Marines are cool.
Oh, okay.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let me just make a note.
Yeah, so if you're more familiar with Warhammer 40,000, Warhammer Fantasy was the original miniatures tactical game. Then they did Warhammer 40,000, which is the far future one, which has definitely eclipsed this game. The miniatures for Warhammer Fantasy in popularity. Warhammer 40K being easily the largest tactical miniatures game.
Absolutely.
Ever?
9 times out of 10, if I see a feature or a post or an ad for anything miniatures related, it is Warhammer.
Yeah, we will play a 40K RPG at some point. I just don't know. Probably Imperium Maledictum, which is also from Cubicle 7.
I'm going to be real honest. It's well known that I know dick about video games or most games in general, except the ones we play on this show.
Sure.
So when you first announced that we were doing Warhammer, I assumed it was the same thing as World of Warcraft, and I watched that movie.
Oh, no.
It was not good.
Took one for the team there, Tom.
No. So your characters are in Reikland, which is the most important province of basically the fantasy Holy Roman Empire, just called the Empire. And it is Germanic, what we would think of as Germanic, but it is full of villages and cities, burghers and knights. So Harlowe, Steve, and Brinda, they're going to open for the mamas and the papas.
It does strangely
The
sound...
rare music joke from Kyle.
I nailed it.
does sound like a folk trio.
It does, yeah. I've seen a mighty wind.
Well,
Stevie, work hard to afford a loot.
You are on a boat, a very small boat, going down one of the Reikland's many rivers. Your ultimate destination is Ubersreich. So this is, by our standards, being close to the Ohio and the Mississippi, this river is not that size. This is a much more narrow river, probably 20 meters across. It's reasonably deep because it does wind down to the Reich River, which is the main river that forms the contours of Reikland. You're heading upstream towards Ubersreich, which is at the foot of the Grey Mountains. Our witch hunter, Harlowe, is traveling there to meet the Witchfinder General so he can be reassigned after his latest mission, hunting witches, was successful. Some were burned, some were shot, and the witch Brinda he is bringing in tow because she had not been totally corrupted, and once in Ubersreich, he will entrust her to the wizard Habmeyer. So it is many days, however, to Ubersreich, which is a town, a fairly large town in Reikland. It does not compare to the capital of Altdorf, but Altdorf is some distance away, and not all business that's important can be taken care of in Altdorf. The capital has many duties. So this boat is ultimately bound for Ubersreich, and you three would be the only passengers. The rest of the space, it's a barge really, is given over to cargo. Given over to cargo. It is owned by Matador, Steve's father, a grizzled old river dog who has half of the teeth on one side of his mouth completely missing, and that's where his tobacco stays. And you've left behind a steady trail of brown in the water as the barge has been pulled north by Steve and Matt. As night begins to fall on this 8th day on the river, you finally see some semblance of civilization. Because while Reikland is heavily inhabited, there are vast tracts of relatively uninhabited forest, and you're in the middle of the Reichswald. Now, I say uninhabited by civilized folk, like men or dwarves or halflings. Elves are strange creatures that live elsewhere. But they can be full of goblins or beastmen, none of which you care for, given the brutal violence that often occurs when beastmen and men or dwarves meet. Beastmen tend to worship the ruinous powers, the chaos gods. They are sentient creatures. They can talk, but it's perfectly legal just to kill the shit out of them.
Okay.
So beastmen, they are not nautical creatures. They cannot build boats. They are not a refined civilization. They all live as nomadic tribes, basically. But if any boats that run aground or get stuck, they will readily swim out and board them and go to work on the crew with axes or shoot arrows from the banks. Fortunately, this is not a constant problem. Armies do roam the Reichswald, putting down beastmen whenever they're found, but it's something you always have to take into account when you're on the rivers. But you do see some civilization, an inn built on the bank of this tributary of the Reich. It has a dock jutting out into the water. You can see smoke rising from the chimney. This is a particularly cold spring day. There's still some snow on the ground in the shadows of larger trees or boulders, though the leaves are starting to grow and to green. There's some flowers here and there. As is not uncommon, there's a wall around the inn with a gate that leads to the docks and almost certainly another gate on the landward side, though you can't see it, and a sign hanging that says the Black Bess. And it's this completely ridiculous picture of a rotund woman shoving a ham into her mouth.
Okay.
And there's a man fishing off the edge of the dock, looks at you. You see him from a distance, and he doesn't move much as your barge pulls forward. The hour is growing late. There are lights on the inn and lanterns. Matador looks to Harlowe. Well, reckon we ought to be pulling over for the night and staying here. I could use a feather bed or a sack of straw, a big pile of oats to lay in.
I think that will probably not be necessary. I believe they have beds here in this inn, as you folks call it.
Well, I meant to bring out on my bars. I don't trust these people with dirt under their feet.
Stevie want to shove ham in his mouth like Pitcher Lady.
I am getting hungry as well.
Matt pats Steve on the head. You go in with these dirt folk, and you eat some ham. He's a good boy. We try to. He's simple on account of his mother.
Damn.
She kept feeding him bread, not fish.
Oh, no.
All right, well, folks, would you like to take a break for the evening and get some libations and a nap?
I don't libate. A lot of people say I do, but I don't.
Stevie vote yes.
Yes.
Oh, the voice of Brinda. That of an angel.
I love hearing how excited Brenda gets to get her magic license.
Well, she's going for a permit first.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that was your short-term ambition.
She had a MUI. She was
sure.
magic-y under the influence.
So that's a good opportunity. Let's review your ambitions.
Yeah,
your
like
personal.
short term is to get a magic learner's permit.
Sure.
Long term is to stop Austin from his nefarious plan.
Yeah.
Of making like magic legal for everybody or something.
Yeah.
Which I suspect he's just trying to get himself more work.
It's a profit-making plan.
Right.
Yeah. So Harlowe just kind of enjoys being a part of this world. His short-term ambition is to actually learn a magic spell, and his long-term ambition is to help democratize magic, or to at least make it as easy as possible to be licensed, so that this power can be accessible to all.
Okay, now, Austin, I will tell you that it would probably be a better long-term, like, you can keep the democratization of magic, like, in your head, but long-term, it's probably going to be really hard for you to learn a magic spell. So that might
yeah?
make a
Okay.
better long-term magic plan. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, because it's quite difficult. And then short-term could be something like get the witch to Ubersreich or
Have a ham.
have a ham. Maybe not that one.
All right, so I'll make my short-term ambition to meet the hunter general.
Okay. Todd, what about Steve?
Stevie's short-term ambition is eat.
Yep.
Right?
Stevie's long-term ambition is boat.
Yep.
Wants own boat.
Okay. So the barge starts pulling up to this dock, and the fisherman has already trudged up the hill towards the inn. He's got a bucket in one hand and a fishing pole in the other. Everyone can make a perception check.
Okay, how do we do that?
So, generally, all the rolls in this game are going to be percentile, meaning D100. And what you want to do is, so Corey, what's your perception?
I have none.
Okay, so what is your initiative?
31.
Okay, so that means your base characteristic for perception is 31.
Okay.
You don't have any advances in it,
No.
so you're just going to try to roll a 31 or under. So yeah, so you could just test it, your initiative if you don't have it. This is average difficulty, which means you add a 20 to whatever your skill is.
Okay.
So if you have a 31, then you want to roll a 51 or less. And remember,
Gotcha.
because we're using success levels reversed, meaning you want to roll as close to the number as possible without going over. So ideally, Corey would want to roll a 50 or a 51 because he would succeed, and he would have 5 success levels because it's the first number of your 10s die. So everybody roll a perception check at average difficulty, which is plus 20 to your skill.
Okay, so then I have a perception skill of 32, so I'm trying to beat a 52.
Yep.
My initiative is 39, so I will be trying to roll a 59 or less.
Jesus.
Yeah, and just for the folks at home, these are the perception is a basic skill. All the characters all have basic skills. So when Todd says he doesn't have it, what he means is he didn't take any advances in it in character creation.
Okay, let us roll.
Well,
Harlowe rolled an 82.
Brinda got a 20.
Stevie rolled a 66.
So is it Stevie or Steve?
It's Stevie.
Stevie is focusing on poling the barge, which makes sense. Harlowe is busying himself readying his possessions, and only the witch, Brinda, is paying careful attention to the fisherman. And as he's going up, he stumbles and his bucket drops, and there's nothing in it. No fish, no water. And he casts a somewhat pensive look back at the barge and then hurries. In some bit of haste, perhaps, though maybe a man trying to look like he's not hurrying towards the end.
Oh no, he's left his invisible fish.
What's that?
Oh.
Here, witchy! Matador looks over. Here! Yeah, I saw an invisible fish once!
Did you now? Oh, my.
Yep!
When Stevie was baby, Mom tried to feed him invisible fish. It left Stevie hungry.
Matador just spits some tobacco juice onto the barge deck.
So I guess Brinda points out to the rest that there's... Look, fast fish man run! Wait, am I Stevie? What?
No.
I was trying to say, you've devolved quickly.
You have a noble background. You should be the most well-spoken.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Look yonder fisherman running.
Now, what is that? What did you see?
As I glanced to the fair riverside,
I instantly like this
a
character.
fisherman I did see. Drop his bucket, did he? And away he scampered so hurriedly. She's rhyming now, I guess. Okay.
So none of you can see this, but in the ethereal realm,
Where the invisible fish actually live.
the hell dimension of the warp that lays over this one, the demon that had been waiting to corrupt Brinda, sees all this and says, fuck this, and leaves.
I don't want to hang with this rhyming idiot.
I don't got time for this. All right, so Matt and Stevie, they tie the barge off to the dock, which is a simple wooden dock with poles stuck into the riverbed, slats on it. There's a few random boxes empty here and there sitting. A bin of fish, though they're starting to stink a bit. Perhaps they've been left overnight. Some various detritus. And a worn path leading up the hill through the mud, through the gate to the inn.
Miss Brinda, if running fisherman made you angry, Stevie will catch him and squeeze him for you.
I will hunt you a peach, dear. Go ahead.
One day, Stevie get a lute and name it after Miss Brinda.
Well, keep an eye out if you saw someone suspicious. If we see them again, we may need to ready ourselves.
So where was he running to?
He wasn't running. He was moving somewhat hastily
Right,
up
briskly,
the hill
yeah.
towards the inn.
Well, we're going to the inn anyway, right?
Yeah, I assume.
Okay.
And Kyle, you said he started out on the boat with us.
He wasn't on the boat. He was on the dock fishing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's just a random guy fishing. I never noticed him before.
Oh, yeah.
I've been with you for 7 days.
Well, I didn't know how populated this barge is.
No, it's Matt
Oh, okay.
and you three
Okay,
guys.
okay.
This is a cargo barge.
Gotcha.
It's only taking you because you're a witch hunter.
Gotcha. Okay.
And you said you're taking me, and they said, okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Usually barge just move boxes, but this time it moved people. Stevie liked people better than boxes.
There are many reasons why Matador doesn't move people. So are you guys doing anything in particular before you walk up the hill to the inn?
Brenda's going to stretch.
Yeah, good.
It's up a hill. You don't want to cramp up, you know?
No, 30 minutes a day, whether I need it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's been drinking river water. It's not good for you. She's dehydrated.
Oh, the microbes?
yeah, she has diarrhea and she's just
Beastman
dehydrated.
feces? Matador's feces?
Yeah, right.
I started to say that was a disturbing detail you gave us, talking about leaving a trail of brown in the water.
Well, that was tobacco.
I know.
But he does poop in the water.
Yeah, well,
Over the edge.
who amongst us?
Freestanding. He doesn't even squat.
All right, so yeah, I guess we're probably just heading up to the inn.
Yeah, Stevie needs no preparation. He's
Sure.
going to be keeping an eye on that fisherman for Brinda, though.
Yeah, and he can't spell it either.
No,
Well,
No, actually, what is Stevie's intelligence?
40.
So, is Stevie smarter than everyone else?
oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
But it's
He's street smart.
yeah, exactly. It's more of a
Yeah. It's not,
common folk smarts.
yeah, he didn't go to school and take Reikland.
No, he probably can't read or write, but he's
I mean, unless you have the read or write talent, you cannot read or write. So the three of you make your way up the hill, the muddy hill. Spring rains recently came through. Though it looks to be like a clear night, you can see some of the famous constellations that represent the gods appearing in the sky above you. A lantern is lit, hanging outside the door of the inn, and the image of the large woman shoving a hammer in her mouth is repeated on a sign near the door. So this is a fairly standard type of construction you would see in the Empire. It's a stone and wood building. It's 2 stories. There's an attic and dormers coming out. It's a fairly sizable building. There are, of course, windows, and you can see into the common room, multiple tables, people around them. There's also a barn not too far away, and this is all within the wall, the stone wall that circles the inn. You can see some horses in the barn and a fellow in rough work clothes mucking out a stall. You go inside. There's 5 patrons in the inn, or what you assume are patrons. There's tables laid out. None of them are occupied. This inn is obviously much busier in the probably the summer and the fall when merchants are on the roads or on the rivers. This would be the slow season. After all, the ice has just melted off the main rivers and the snows are slowly receding. So there's 3 kind of rough-dressed men around one table, perhaps woodsmen or farmers, you don't know, drinking ale. And at the other table, there is what you would think of as foreigners, dressed not well, but upper middle-class clothing. Does anyone have any skills that might let them identify where these guys are from?
So I have a couple of language skills,
Okay.
Which I think would at least translate over to recognizing the respective cultures for each of them. Britannia and Wastelander.
So you would know that these men are neither Bretonians nor Wastelanders, and I'll just let you make an intelligence roll.
Okay, so I'm trying to beat a 31.
This is probably a little bit above average, so plus 30.
Stevie might be able to help. He has one of his advanced skills is lore, as in river lore. He spends a lot of time on the river, so he's familiar with different places and different people and might be able to help identify them.
Okay.
Can you help in this game?
Can I?
You can't. Well, it's called assistance, but
Okay.
yes. So generally, you have to have the same sort of skill. In this case, since it's just an intelligence test, and Stevie has a very appropriate skill, I'm going to say he can. So that gives Austin a +10.
Okay.
Plus, he's smart as a whip. We've established that.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's secretly smarter than everyone.
Right.
So then I'm trying to beat a 71.
Yep.
That's a 34.
So is this like Call of Cthulhu, where if you get like half the amount, it's a higher success and things like that?
Sort of, except in this, you want more success levels.
Okay.
So ideally, the best roll Austin could have made there would have been a 70.
Oh, closest to. That's
Yeah,
right. Okay.
because then he would have 7 success levels.
Got it.
In this case, 3 is completely sufficient.
Okay.
The two men are from different cultures. One is Kislev, a Kislevite. Those are basically Russians.
Okay.
Or Eastern Europeans. They live far to the north, near the Chaos Waste. The other is Italian, who are fantasy Italians,
Okay.
essentially. And this guy could be from any number of the Tilian city-states. Tilia is not a unified country. There's a bunch of different Tilian city-states, and they war and squabble.
Okay.
And the Empire has trade relations with both of these nations. It is unusual for a Tilian and a Kislevite to be found in a random inn in the middle of the Reichswald, but not impossible. It is not an outlandish situation.
Yeah, that's actually a joke in this world.
Yeah.
Tilian and
A Tilian and a Kislevite walk into a bar.
yeah.
And murder everyone. That's
Yeah.
that's always the ending.
That's the punchline.
That's
Yeah.
a funny joke, yes.
Speaking of, do I spot the fisherman anywhere?
You do not spot the fisherman.
Stevie recognized what kind of people these are. That one, he's a beet eater. The other one, eat noodles. Stevie needs drink and big ham to shove in mouth like picture lady.
So there is a sudden sound. The door to the kitchen opens. Also, there is a bar, door to the kitchen, and a stairway going up to the rooms. The door of the kitchen swings open, and a large man in a stained apron.
Shoving a ham in his mouth.
No, he's carrying a tray covered by a metal lid. He's got big hairy forearms and food, and walks it over to the table of the three locals, sets it down, lifts it, and there's just this pile of indeterminate meat. It's been cut up and roasted, and it smells nice, and they start digging in, shoveling it onto plates. And the Kislevite pipes up, "Where is our food? We ordered long ago." And the cook turns, "It'll be ready when it's ready," and stumps back towards the kitchen, then turns and points at you three. "You want a drink?"
I wouldn't say no to a peach margarita.
Stevie, want drink?
Yes, I'll take a bottle of your finest wine.
"Ale's all around then." And he goes behind the
Oh.
bar and starts filling tankards with ale.
Oh, well.
There's no wine behind the bar or anything other than ale and beer.
I have a gluten allergy, but okay. I've already been drinking river water.
Stevie would also like to order ham.
Maybe.
Lady on door eat ham. Stevie also want to eat ham.
Do you just have another one of those meat platters?
I've got stuff roasting and I've got soup and bread, but that's going to those guys. And he points to the foreigners.
This is technically the second Todd character who likes to eat ham, if you remember Necrobiotic.
Oh my God.
It'll be a minute, but you can wait. Do you want rooms?
Yes, we would like each a room for the night, please.
He scratches his head, looks up Austin up and down, or looks Harlowe up and down, excuse me. 1 gold. Your characters would know this. Well, maybe not Stevie, since he doesn't stay at inns that much. That is an outlandish price.
Yes.
It's like walking into the Holiday Inn and they demand $1,000
Right.
for a room.
Harlowe matches his gaze and slaps 1 silver on the bar and says, 1 silver, done. And I'm going to use that as an intimidation check to kind of just assert that this is what we'll be paying.
Okay, so it'll be an opposed test, his willpower versus your intimidation.
Okay, I do have an advancement in intimidation, so I have a skill of 40.
Okay.
Brinda also has advancement and intimidate, can assist in this.
Excellent.
Yeah, of course.
So Brinda kind of steps up behind Harlowe and goes, "Yeah."
So the way opposed tests work in Warhammer, essentially you want to be the one with the most successes.
Yeah.
Even if it's negative successes. So if you both fail, someone will still win.
Okay.
There's never a scenario in which everybody loses and nothing happens.
Okay.
So then we're just both rolling?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so with assistance, again, you just give the other player plus 10, so Austin needs to roll under a...
50.
And him, whatever he rolled.
Ooh, 56.
Well, he rolled a 74.
Hey.
Okay.
And his willpower is definitely not that high. So he looks at it, yeah, okay, it's fine, and scoops it into a bucket behind the counter. Sets the ales on the table.
Thank you. And let my friend know when his meat is ready, please.
Do you have a straw?
Preferably the bendy kind.
There's some reeds out on the bank of the river.
Stevie immediately runs out to the river and breaks off a reed to bring it back to Miss Brenda.
So Stevie
Thank
runs
you,
out,
Stephen.
Is that what you call her, Miss Brenda?
Yes.
Ah, nice.
and he says, I'm Squatch if you need anything.
Hello, Squatch. Mhm.
It's my inn. And he goes back into the kitchen.
You don't look like the lady. Okay, bye.
You guys sit down at a table after, of course, Stevie comes back with the straw. The Kislevite and the Talian are waiting for their meals, discussing something amongst themselves. The locals, or the other three guys, you don't actually know if they're locals or not, are laughing and joking, talking amongst themselves, eating chunks of meat. A little while later, the cook brings out a big tray of bread and sets it in front of the three other guys, not you guys or the foreigners, and then heads back toward the kitchen.
Oh, I see it's going to be a lot of gluten today. Okay.
If food not show up soon, Stevie not leave a tip. Mr. Harlowe, Miss Brenda, would you like Stevie to go talk to Cooking Man and see what food problem is?
Sure, if you want to be a Karen about it, I suppose you could talk to the manager.
Stevie's very hungry.
Sure.
Aw.
I mean, and, his short-term ambition is always to eat.
That's right.
Yeah.
So he's going to go back to the kitchen.
We've had nothing to eat all day except for invisible fish.
Yes.
Stevie walks into the kitchen. There's a large hearth with a fire in it and lots of pots bubbling, a big work table. And as he walks in, there's a wet smacking sound as a big haunch of some kind of meat hits the table, and then the hammer of a cleaver hacking through a bone. The cook, splattered with blood, and Iker looks over. Yeah? There's also a stairway to the right going down into the basement. We'll almost certainly have a root cellar and beer in any inn, and a door leading outside.
My name's Stevie. Stevie want to know why food takes so long.
It smells really good in here. Mm-hmm. There are also ovens with fire lit, and everything kind of has a lurid quality because of the poor lighting. This is, after all, Renaissance society. They don't have good interior lighting, and it's dark outside. The cook, with the shadows moving across his face from the lamp swinging above you. Good food takes time. You can see there's like bowls of soup set out on a tray.
See if he has kimchi.
I'm out of kimchi!
Oh, damn.
So out in the dining room, you hear a thud as a cleaver is thrown into the wall. So Todd, what skill are you going to try to use to get this guy to give you food?
Intimidation, obviously.
Okay.
Brenda once again pops up behind him. Yeah.
So it'll be a opposed test. If Brenda is assisting, it's a plus 10.
Intimidate is my strength. I don't have any advances in it, but my strength is 39.
Sure.
So with a plus 10, that'll be 49.
Yep.
All right. Once again, rolled a 66.
Hey.
Apparently, that's the only number Stevie can roll.
Now, remember, you guys do have some currencies that you can use.
Oh, yeah. Fate, fortune, and resilience and such.
Yeah. What is it? Fate, fortune, resilience, and resolve?
That's correct.
Yeah. So he rolled a 30. So he got 3 levels of success. You failed. So he points the cleaver at you. It'll be ready when it's ready. Tell you what, you could go down to the basement, bring up some vegetables or something.
Stevie want large ham to shove in mouth, like lady on picture.
Well, I don't know what's here. Go down to the basement and find a ham.
Okay, so Stevie does that.
So you look down.
Stevie also looked for gluten-free for Miss Brenda.
You look down the steps to the basement. There's no door at the bottom of the steps. It's just open, but it's completely dark down there.
Is there a candle nearby he could grab?
There's a lantern.
Okay.
There's 2 lanterns in here.
He grabs one of the lanterns and heads down the stairs.
You go down the stairs. The basement is fairly large. It's stone floor, stone walls. There's barrels and crates, bags, it's burlap sacks full of things, shelves, and one wall is wooden, and there's a door in that with a big padlock on it. Todd, roll Stevie's perception to find
That also is a 39.
a ham. So you can have a. So it'll just take you time to find a ham, but this test doesn't have any specific difficulty or bonus on it. What we're looking for is just success levels, and the more success you get, the more things you will discover here.
The more hams.
The more hams you find.
It's got to be the first ham check we've done.
But it won't be the last.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, go ahead and roll that.
That's an 82.
You get all your good rolls in character creation. Apparently.
Right?
The ham has been disguised as a turkey.
So, unless you spend a fortune to re-roll, you're going to be searching for a while down here.
I am going to spend 1 fortune.
Okay, now fortune does come back the next session.
Oh, okay.
Fate spins are permanent, and fortune lets you re-roll or add a success level to a test.
And I'm going to re-roll. That leaves me with 2 fortune.
Okay.
That's a 5.
Okay, so no success levels, but you did roll a 5, which is a success. So you will find the ham reasonably quickly. Meanwhile, upstairs, the cook has come out of the kitchen. He's got a tray laden with bowls. He puts 2 of them in front of the foreigners and 3 of them on the table with Harlowe and Brinda. It's soup. It's basically broth. There's almost nothing in it. Maybe tiny bits of what used to be vegetables.
Hot ham water.
Hot water
Yeah.
with some seasoning in it. And he says, "There you go," and starts tromping back into the kitchen. So in the basement, this is very well stocked. There's hams, ducks, geese. They're all salted or stored in pickling barrels. There's barrels of ale. There's bottles of wine. There are sacks of flour and cornmeal, all sorts of pickled sauerkrauts, and lots of potatoes and onions in burlap sacks. So you find a ham that you like. You're carrying it out, and you notice that this is a very rough and workmanlike area. There's no decorations. There's no pictures or anything. But there is a really nice rug on the floor of the stockroom. It's very odd. Probably the nicest rug you've seen. Definitely not something you would expect in a basement. You have your ham.
I think Stevie's smart enough to notice how out of place this rug is.
Yeah, is this a basement or Lebowski's living room?
It does tie the room together.
So he's just going to move the boxes or crates or whatever's on top of it and look underneath.
Okay, so the only basic knowledge skill you have is like river lore.
Sure.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So roll your river lore at minus 20. That's hard. It's a hard roll for river lore.
Intelligence, that's a 40. And I have an advancement in it of 5. So 45 minus 10. Is that what you said?
Minus 20.
Minus 20. Okay, so 25 is my target.
Yeah.
All right. That's an 8.
You rolled an 8?
I rolled an 8.
Damn.
So you roll this rug up, and you're about to go up when you look down on the floor, on the stone floor, and drawn onto the stone floor is a magic circle, which you only recognize because one time a wizard traveling on your barge let you look at his pretty book.
Stevie liked pretty books.
And you have a great memory, and so you remember seeing something like this drawn in the wizard's book. You don't know what it does, but you know this is a thing of magic, not just drawn on the floor, but there are grooves into the stone, and some kind of ink is filling those to form this magic circle. There's also the occasional spatter of blood here and there. There's no good reason for this to be in the basement of an inn at all. For the common citizenry of the Empire, magic is verboten and usually associated with terrible, evil things.
So Stevie sees that. He decides the best thing to do in this situation is to take his ham upstairs. And while he's eating the ham, he will let Mr. Harlowe know that he saw something magic down in the basement.
Stevie comes upstairs, goes into the room. He's got a chunk of ham, salted ham. And Stevie conveys to Harlowe what he saw in the basement. Does he do so with any subtlety?
No. He sits down. He's got a mouthful of ham. He's like, "Oh, by the way, Mr. Harlowe, there's magic stuff in basement. Stevie knows magic. Stevie met wizard once.
You know magic?
Wizard writing on the floor of the basement. This is good ham."
Everyone stay here.
So it's hard to miss all the looks of alarm that come from the locals and the foreigners as everyone looks at Harlowe with kind of shocked looks and befuddlement.
How did he get ham?
Yeah. Okay, Austin. Harlowe's going to the basement.
Yeah. First of all, he's going to try to reestablish the sense of calm and quiet in the room by looking around at everyone and just saying, "What?"
That'll do it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make an intimidation check to just basically tell everybody, turn the fuck around.
Brenda helps. Yeah.
Okay, so this will be pretty hard.
Okay.
So minus 20.
Okay.
But you get a plus 10 from Brinda.
Okay. So then that's going to go from 40 to 50 and down to 30. Oh, that's an 87.
Well,
No one is at all calmed by your demeanor.
Well, Stevie is. He's eating ham.
yeah.
Stevie's fine. The locals are pushing back from their chairs, not sure what to do. The Kislevite and the Chilean look at each other, and you can tell the moment the witch hunter is in the kitchen, they are probably going to be going.
So, yeah, I don't even stop to say anything to the cook. I'm just going to step down into the basement.
I think Brenda's going to join him because she also knows magic.
Okay.
That's true.
So Brinda and the witch hunter take the lantern that Stevie used, go down into the basement. The cook looks at the two of you as you go past. Ugh! Doesn't stop you.
What was the skill we got to roll for ham check again?
Ham check. Oh, right. Well, as Stevie has already discovered, the major find in the basement, that you don't have to roll anything.
He left a little ham trail behind.
He did. But you get to the basement. It is, as I described it to Todd, stone walls except for one wood wall, which has a door and a lock on it, and the stairwell going up. And you can see a rug that's been uncovered and a magic circle drawn on it. What sort of knowledge skills do you have as a witch hunter, Austin?
That class didn't actually give me anything as far as identifying magic.
Well, that makes sense. You're mainly tasked with destroying it, so.
Yeah, I kind of think, but given my character's simplistic view about his long-term ambition, I'm kind of thinking this is probably one of those things where, like, are these guys qualified for this job? Like, if I see somebody using magic for good, I can identify that, but I may try to cut someone's head off if he pulls the got your nose trick. You know what I mean?
Yes, that is what the Empire wants you to do.
Yeah.
So, yes, you're qualified for the job. You can do violence.
Okay. All right.
You have a grave misunderstanding about what they want in their witch hunters.
Yeah.
They want paranoid murderers. Corey?
Brenda has language magic.
Oh.
It's an advanced skill.
Roll that.
Okay, how do you do that?
So a skill rank is based on the characteristic that relates to it, which in the case of language magic would be intelligence, plus any advances you've taken. So if you took 10 advances in language of magic, it'd be 10 plus your intelligence, and you'd want to roll under that.
Okay, I have 6 advancements in language magic.
So your intelligence is what?
33, so it makes it 39, right?
Yep. And you want to roll under that.
Okay.
This is relatively common in the magical world. So since you've dabbled in that, you have a plus 20.
Okay. So that'll be 59. 19.
So to Stevie's fairly uneducated eye, this looked very intricate and complex, this circle. To Brenda's more discerning gaze, this is a very sloppy summoning circle. The words of protection are not in the right place. If anybody did manage to summon something with this, it would almost certainly go horribly, murderously wrong. But this is a summoning circle intended to summon some sort of eldritch warp creature and do something. Perhaps bargain with it, get it to perform a task you don't know from that, but that is what it is. This is not something somebody could just do apropos of nothing. You can't pick out a local library book with magic summoning circles.
Okay.
So despite the crudeness and slapdash nature of the circle, it is some degree of sophistication and knowledge would be required to make it.
Brenda, what do your witch eyes see?
Well, it's crap. It's a crap circle. Yeah, she explains it's a very poorly done summoning circle, which surely he would understand, even with his cursory knowledge of magic.
Yeah. Even licensed wizards do not summon warp entities.
Yeah.
There's very little time when that is a thing you want to do.
Right.
Harlow tromps back up the stairs, looks around the corner, and says, "Might we have a word to the cook?"
Yeah.
So the cook is not there because the cook just went into the dining room where Stevie is.
Well, shit.
Stevie is busy using his dagger to carve out a pretty little ham flower that he's going to give to Miss Brinda.
Ham flour?
A ham flower.
Okay.
So while Harlow and Miss Brenda are investigating the basement, Stevie is making ham flowers. So Todd, roll your perception plus 30.
That'll be a 69.
Nice.
And, I rolled a 58.
As you're making a ham flour, a word I never thought I would use,
There we go. Get that bingo card ready.
something catches your eye outside. You look through the leaded windows, and down on the dock, you see this flicker of flame and then a larger fire as the barge ignites.
Oh, no. Ours?
Oh.
Yours is the only one docked there. And you can see, silhouetted by the flames, two figures fighting on the dock. And you can tell from the stooped posture of one of them, it is almost certainly Matador struggling with someone. What do you do?
Stevie saved Dad.
All right.
And hopefully Boat.
Roll your athletics. If you're, I assume, running at full speed down the hill.
I have 5 advancements in athletics. That is a total of 33.
So this is, I mean, running down a hill is easy. The difficulty is getting there in time to do anything. But I'm going to say you got a plus 30 to do that.
Okay.
I mean, you're running down a hill. There's nothing impeding you, and it's not that far.
So that'll be a 63.
Yep.
Rolled a 75.
You do have an opportunity to spend a fortune if you wish to re-roll.
I will do that.
Okay.
Down to 1.
Now, just to let you guys know, I'm considering a session for our purposes to be this arc at the end.
Oh, okay.
So you won't get those back until the mystery here is solved, which, given where we're at right now, I'm assuming will take us into next session.
Well, can we vote on that?
No. Okay. In no way can you vote on that.
Okay, all right.
Actually, you know what? You can. Go ahead. Vote.
I vote for that not to happen.
Yeah. Okay. Vetoed.
Fuck.
Wait, what if we unionize?
I'm going to filibuster your ass.
I'm bringing in scabs.
No.
Corey's just going to cut you out.
Re-rolling with a target of 63, I think I said. Yeah.
Yes, that sounds right.
Jesus fucking Christ. A 64.
Oh, that's rough, isn't it? Steve is charging down the hill. It is a bit muddy, which he did not account for. So he slips, tumbles, head over heels, sliding down. And you rolled what did you roll? A 64?
64, 1 over.
So you land on your chest on a couple of rocks, slide down the hill. You're going to take 4 damage to your body. What's your toughness bonus?
Toughness is 41.
Oh, so you don't take any damage. You are slowed, of course, and you get there just as you see Matador go, "Here!" and get knocked.
Is that his war cry?
No, that's his cry of distress as he's hit in the head with an oar and tumbles into the river, splashing. He, of course, can't swim. He never took the time to learn.
Oh.
The barge is on
Stevie
fire.
can swim.
Stevie can swim. A large figure, stout of shoulder, with long black mustaches, turns. "I'm the oarsman, and your barge is gonna burn."
Oh.
He's got this big hood on with a circle of chaos on the forehead, which is an 8-pointed.
I thought you were going to say the only thing you can see out of the hood is his mustache.
No, it's a circle, but like there's 8 arrows piercing the circle. This is the most ominous omen that you could find in the Empire. This is definitely a forbidden symbol, and it would be an execution level offense to wear something like this.
Stevie's response is, "My name's Stevie. You hurt Dad and stop Stevie eating ham. You die."
Well.
Meanwhile, in the common room of the inn, which the cook has gone into, Harlow has just come up the steps out of the basement and you're not quite up the steps. You're about halfway up, like your shoulders are level with the floor, and you hear cries of alarm, crashing sounds of crockery in the common room, the clash of steel. There's some fighting going on, and you hear a thump, and you can tell it was someone dropping a bar in place on the door from the kitchen to the common room.
Harlowe tries the door and then puts his shoulder behind it a little bit. Brinda, get up here. We're trapped.
Yeah, you can tell that there's definitely a bar over the door of the kitchen. Now, there is a door from the kitchen to the outside.
Yeah.
Some of the pots have left to boil over. There's, kind of a burned meat smell from the ovens.
With that door being so easy to access, Harlowe is careful as he tries the door in case it's trapped or something, but he tries the door to see if he can get outside.
It opens onto a back lot. There's wood stacked nearby, splitting axe, some water barrels that the tops have been opened to let rainwater gather, a broken wagon between here and the barn. The stars are out. You can't hear any woodland sounds from the forest beyond just because there's shouting and screaming and cussing coming from the common room.
First thing he's going to try to do is circumnavigate around the inn to try and get back in, but I'm assuming that we'll notice the fire on the docks on our way around.
Yeah, so as you come, and I assume Brinda is following Harlowe.
Yeah.
So you guys, I'll let you make one quick perception check before you get out of the kitchen.
Okay.
And one of you can help the other, or you can both roll separately.
All right. Corey, what's yours?
31.
Okay, mine's 32, so you want to just add plus 10 to mine?
Sure.
So this is going to be slightly below average, so it'll be just plus 10 to it.
Okay.
Brenda's head comes up behind him on his shoulder and goes, perception.
All right, so then I'm trying to beat a 52. 22.
So one of the big pans that's hanging over the hearth is bubbling over, and a lot of the water is boiled out, and you can see half of a human head inside it.
Oh, hello.
The skin has been cooked away. There's definitely more than 2 eyeballs floating in this soup. Now, then I assume you leave to go around. The two of you run around the inn, come around the side, and do see down the hill the burning barge and a large figure, 2 large figures, grappling, fighting one another on the dock, and another spluttering in the water. Help me! I can't swim! I'm Matador, in case anybody forgot I was an NPC on the barge.
Oh, yes.
Fish are getting my toes!
Oh, no.
And there's the door, the double door to go into the inn is closed. And, of course, the commotion is still ongoing.
Yeah, fuck the inn. Brenda's running down to help shipmates.
Harlowe is as well. Should one of us try to save Matador, or should we just focus on killing the one attacking Stevie?
So how far from the shore is Matador sputtering?
The river by the dock isn't that deep, so he's not that far because every time he goes down, he's able to push off the bottom and push back to the top. He just doesn't know how to tread water. It's not like the current has carried him 100 yards downstream. He's 15 feet away from the edge of the barge.
Okay, well, Brenda's not much of a fighter, so can she look for like a long stick or something, or perhaps to stick in to try to help him out?
Yeah, you can look around. So both of you need to roll athletics to run down to the dock to get there in time to do anything and not fall down.
Okay, Brenda has a 22 in agility.
So it is pretty easy. You get a plus 30 to do it.
Okay.
Okay, so that's going to make mine, I have athletics of 31, so that's going to be 61.
52 over here. 75.
31.
Austin, you get down without any difficulty. Corey, Brinda is wearing shoes that are completely not right for this environment.
Yeah. With like
And-
snowshoes or something?
Yep.
Okay.
Pair of snow boots.
He's got skis.
She twists around, slips in the mud, comes down on her back. You take 4 points of damage to the body.
Ow.
What's your toughness bonus?
2.
So your toughness bonus will soak 2 of that, so you take 2 damage to your wounds, basically.
Okay.
So Brenda gets up, starts searching for a pole. There's the poles that they use on the barge to push it upriver.
Okay, I grabbed that.
Okay, and you're going to try to fish Matador out.
Yep.
So essentially, Brenda is saving Matador while Stevie and Harlowe are going to be fighting Herc Oarsman, Patreon member.
Yes.
So that fight will not have Matador, of course, or Brenda in it. So Corey, do Do you have a skill in mind for this?
I'm guessing this would be like endurance, maybe? Or what about cool? Keeping my cool under this intense situation.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on. The barge is on fire.
Right.
Yeah, so keeping your cool is probably the most important thing. So I'm going to say it's not super easy to keep your cool in this situation, but there aren't 100 orcs charging you. So I'll give you a plus 10
Okay.
for the roll.
And she has 10 advancements. Her willpower is 30, so that'd be 52.
Yep.
37.
So 3 levels of success. You time it so that when Matador is bobbing up, there's the pole in front of him. And on the second try, he grabs it with his hands. Whoa! Pull me in, little lady! And you pull him up to the dock where he can clamber up. He coughs, spits out water, part of a fish. So we will pick up next time with the fight between Herc Oarsman, the Chaos Reaver, and Harlowe and Stevie on the dock. Everything else in the inn is fine.
Yeah.
Sure.
That will be at the beginning of next session.
Okay.
Remember,
The boat, I'm sure, is also fine.
if you dispatch Herc quickly, it could be saved. The longer that fight goes, the more damage the boat is going to take
Sure.
until it is destroyed and sinks.
Yeah.
And Matador finds solace in a bottle for the rest of his life.
Oh.
So thanks to our Patreon members, there were a few in tonight's episode, some of which did not get their names, but they are in the inn, either murdering or being murdered right now.
Yeah.
Of course, Herc Oarsman and Matador. The cook is Squatch.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah. And
Habmeyer.
Hadmeyer, the wizard you're going to see.
It's Carissa. Thank you.
Yep. And the Witchfinder General is actually named Ramirez, for Colby Ramirez.
Okay.
And then the Kislevite is Zacharias Davidikoff, or otherwise known as Patreon member Zachary Davis. And the Talian is Dominique Casiola. Then I just kept that name fine
Nice.
for, a Talian. And the other 3, well, we'll see. We'll see if you find out their names before they're killed.
The 3 locals.
Yeah. Marianne Hillstein has yet to make an appearance. Or has she?
It was her in the soup, wasn't
Exactly.
God damn it. Thought she was the ham woman.
She was the ham woman.
Oh, no. What do you think's in the burger?
So that is our first foray into Warhammer Fantasy.
Yay.
Once you deal with this episode at the end, hopefully you can make it to Ubersreich. I mean, you could all die next week. I'm not going to pull any punches with the Chaos Reaver. It wouldn't do Herc Oarsman Patreon member any justice.
No.
Yeah.
He's killed many men in real life.
So what do you guys think about Warhammer so far?
So far, I dig it.
Yeah,
I like
that's
it.
fine.
Well, you have the best character, Todd. You should.
Well,
Yeah, having fun.
Though I think Corey was right. All your good roles were in character creation.
That is true.
I mean, bad service at the end.
Terrible.
And you were not very helpful with vetoing our shit.
Agreed. No, not a help at all. No.
Yeah.
You guys should definitely leave a Yelp review about the end. We waited 40 minutes for a human sandwich. They didn't even put pickles on it.
In this world, it's called Yar.
It's just bargemen yelling at each other.
Don't go to that place.
They overcooked my onions.
In addition to our patrons, we would also like to thank our sponsor, Barrel and Bond, 100 Broadway Street in beautiful downtown Paducah, right on the banks of the Ohio River.
They've got bourbon, they got fellowship, they got charcuterie boards, but don't ask questions.
There's a ham in the bathroom. Now, why?
That's mine.
It's decorated with ham flowers.
That's right. It's beautiful.
Ham flowers.
Yeah.
What is even going on?
When the ham blooms.
This is early spring, Kyle.
If the ham is blooming, you probably shouldn't eat it.
Also, thank you to Norse Foundry.
Yes, our partner, Norse Foundry. Great dice and RPG adjacent products.
Ham.
Ham, get the ham dice.
Yeah. Smells. They do have scented dice. So
Yeah, right.
See if we can't get a ham flavored one.
We should reach out. We really need ham dice.
Right.
Please don't ask why.
Yeah, we'll just ham flour flavored dice.
But yeah, go to their website and check out all the cool dice and other related products. And when you check out, put in the word CHAM for 10% off.
That's
C. Ham.
That's right.
Yes, it is. What a silly show. But thank you most importantly to all of you out there for listening.
Yes, thank you very much.
We do appreciate it. We hope you enjoy Bastard Quest, and you can let us know if you do or don't on the social medias.
Yeah, or you could give us a review on the old iTunes or whatever. Rate us.
Please leave a review. We'd love to read your reviews. We're on Instagram and Twitter for the time being. We'll see how long that site takes to completely collapse. Find us on Facebook and, of course, on Patreon/BastardQuest.
Yeah, we're on Blue Sky now as well.
Oh, we are. I'm not yet on Blue Sky. I haven't got a magical invite yet.
I'll give you one.
Oh, yeah. Please send me one.
Cool.
So that'll be, if it's not taken, at the Game Bastard on Blue Sky.
Okay. I'm Corey.
Did it take you a while to come with that one?
Yep.
Thank you for listening. I'm Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
Austin.